Join us in the Matovu. Matovu. Oh, haleka Yaakov. Mishkenoteka Israel.
Goodly are your tents, O Yaakov, your dwelling places, O Israel. As for me, through your abundant kindness, I will enter your house. I will prostrate myself toward your holy sanctuary in awe of you. O Yahavah, I love the house where you dwell and the place where your glory resides. I shall prostrate myself and bow. I shall kneel before Yahavah, my Maker. As for me, may my prayer to you, Yahavah, be at a favorable time. O Elohim, in your abundant kindness, answer me with the truth of your salvation in Messiah Yehoshua. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Congregation Beit Lechem. This is the Barcode service. Our goal is to fulfill our call to guard the commandments of Torah and to have the testimony that Messiah Yehoshua is the Redeemer of Israel. In the holiness of the day, Moses rejoiced in the gifts of his portion that you placed on his head when he stood before you on Mount Sinai. He brought down 2 stone tablets in his hand, on which is inscribed the observance of the Sabbath. So it is written in your Torah. And the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath, to make the Sabbath an eternal covenant with their generations. Between me and the children of Israel is a sign forever, that in 6 days Yahweh made the heaven and earth, and the seventh day he rested and was refreshed. You did not give it, Yahweh, our El, to the nations of the lands, nor did you make it the inheritance, our King, of the worshippers of graven idols. And in its contentment the uncircumcised shall not abide. For to Israel, your people, have you given it in love, to the seed of Yaakov, whom you have chosen.
They shall rejoice in your kingship, those who observe the seventh. They will all be satisfied and delighted in your goodness. And the seventh be found favorable and sanctified. Most coveted of days, called it a remembrance of the act of creation.
Our El and the El of our forefathers, may you be pleased now with our rest. Sanctify us with your commandments and grant our share in your Torah. Satisfy us from your goodness and gladden our souls with your salvation and purify our hearts to serve you sincerely. O Yahweh, our El, with love and favor, grant us your holy Sabbath as a heritage, and may all Israel, the sanctifiers of your name, rest on it. Blessed are you, Yahweh, who sanctifies the Sabbath. Tehillim 119 or Psalms 119. Blessed are the perfect in the way, who walk in the Torah of Yahweh. Yes, they shall do no unrighteousness, they shall walk in his ways.
You have commanded us to guard your orders diligently.
Oh, that my ways were established to guard your laws.
Then I would not be ashamed when I look into all your commands.
I thank you with uprightness of heart when I learn the right rulings of your righteousness.
Guard your laws, oh, do not leave me entirely.
How would a young man cleanse his path? To guard it according to your word.
I have sought you with all my heart. Let me not stray from your commands.
I have treasured up your word in my heart, that I may not sin against you.
Blessed are you, O Yahweh. Teach me your laws.
With my lips I have recounted all the right rulings of your mouth.
I have rejoiced in the way of your witnesses as over all riches.
I meditate on your orders and regard all your ways.
I delight myself in your laws. I do not forget your word.
Do good to your servant. Let me live, and I guard your word.
Open my eyes that I might see wonders in your Torah.
I am a sojourner in the earth. Do not hide your commands from me. Amen. And the Baruch. Blessed is Yahovah, the Blessed One.
Blessed is Yahovah, the Blessed One, for all eternity.
Baruch et Yahovah Hamavarak, Baruch Yahovah Hamavarak Leolam Vayed. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
6 days you shall labor and do all your work.
But the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahovah, your Elohim, and in it you shall not do any work.
For in 6 days Yahovah made heaven and earth, the sea and all that is in them, and rested on the seventh day. That is why Yahovah blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it.
Speak also unto the children of Israel, saying, Above all, my Sabbaths you shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that you may know that I am Yahovah who sanctifies you. If you do turn back your foot from the Sabbath, from doing your pleasure on my set-apart day, and shall call the Sabbath a delight, the set-apart day of Yahovah esteemed, and shall esteem it, not doing your own word, nor speaking your own words, then you shall delight yourself in Yahovah, and I shall cause you to ride on the heights of the earth, and feed you with the inheritance of Yaakov your father, for the mouth of Yahovah has spoken. Amen. The blessing over our children. Elohim of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, we pray for these children to know that the fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge. Children, heed the discipline of your father, and do not forsake the Torah of your mother, for they are fair wreath on your head and chains about your neck. Children, obey your parents in our Master Yeshua, for this is right, and the first commandment with promise is this: honor your father and your mother, that it may go beautifully for you, and your life may be prolonged on the earth. And parents, do not provoke your children, but train them up in the discipline and doctrine of our Master Yeshua. For there is no greater joy than to hear that my children walk in the truth. Remember all the paths of Yahweh are mercy and truth to them that seek his covenant and his testimonies. Let the words of your mouth and the meditation of your hearts be pleasing before Yahweh, your helper and redeemer. The loving commitment of Yahweh is from everlasting to everlasting upon these who fear him, and his righteousness to children's children. May you always crave the word that is as being the pure spiritual milk by which you are nourished up to life. For whatever is true, whatever is honest, whatever is just, whatever is of good report, if there is any uprightness and if there is any praise, think on these things. Finally, the peace of Elohim, which surpasses all knowledge, will keep your hearts and your minds through Yeshua Messiah. Amen. Thank you. And now if you will all please stand for the Messiah prayer. Blessed are you, Yahweh, who has given us the way of salvation in Messiah Yehoshua.
Walk among us filled with your Spirit, the only one who ever fulfilled your Torah perfectly.
He healed the sick and raised the dead. The multitudes of our people sought his touch.
He taught as no other man taught, bringing forth the treasures of the Torah with authority.
How the children sought him, the lepers he touched and made clean. How
And the outcasts found love and release from their sin. How the hypocrites feared him whose words uncovered their sin.
despised and rejected, acquainted with grief, he bore the sins of Israel.
All of us like sheep went astray, turned everyone to his own way.
Our iniquities were laid upon our king. The sins of this world became his burden to bear.
He rose from the dead and opened the way to life everlasting. Praise be to his name.
We are in him, his spirit empowers. New life is ours with joy and peace. Baruch atah Yehovah Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher natan lanu et direct hayashia b'Mashiach Yehoshua. Amen. Blessed are you, Yehovah Elohim, King of the universe, who has given us the way of salvation in Messiah Yehoshua. Amen. And the blessing over the Shema. Baruch atah Yehovah Eloheinu melech haolam, Yodzer or uverei chosek oseh shalom uverei ra. Blessed are you, Yehovah Elohim, King of the universe, who forms light and creates darkness, makes peace and creates evil. And the Shema. Shema Israel, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad, Baruch Shem Kavod, Malchuto Leolam Vayeh. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh your Eloheinu, Yahweh is one. Blessed is the name of his glorious kingdom for all eternity. Vahavata et Yehovah Elohecha b'kol lavacha uv'kol nafsheka uv'kol mo'edecha. Vahayu hadavarim ha'ele asher anokim matzavaka hayom al lavavecha. V'shinantam lavaneka. V'didabtam bam deshiftika beveteka ulektaka bat derek. Ukshak baka ukomeka. Ukshartam leo al yadeka. Vahayu pain aneka. Uktautam al mazuzo beteka uvisharecha. And you shall love Yahovah your Elohim with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your might. And have these words which I command you this day be upon your heart. And you shall teach them diligently to your children, and speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you retire, and when you arise. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hands, and let them be frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and upon your gates. Vahavta lerecha kamoka, and you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Amen. And now for the Torah service.
There is to be one Torah for the native born and for the stranger who sojourns among you. Numbers 15:16. If you join me for the Ein Kamocha. Ein Kamocha v'elin Yehovah v'yen kemasecha machucha machu kol olamin umen shavtecha בכל ודור, יהוה המלך, יהוה המלך, יהוה ימלוך לעולם ועד, יהוה יוסלמו ייתן, יהוה יברך את עמו בשלום. There is none like you among their gods, Yahweh, and there is nothing like your word. Your kingdom is a kingdom throughout all generations, and your dominion is forever. Yahweh reigns, Yahweh has reigned, Yahweh will reign forever and ever. Yahweh will give strength to his people, Yahweh will bless his people with peace. And now for the Vahivin Soharon. Vayivin Soharon ve'omer Moshe Kuma Yehovah ve'yafusu oivecha ve'yanusu mesanecha mepanecha ki mision Tezei Torah, ki mision, tezei Torah, udevar Adonai, Merushalayim, Baruch Shenatan, Torah HaTorah, Baruch Shenatan, Torah HaTorah, Le'amo Israel, B'Yedushuato. When the ark will travel, Moshe will say, Arise, Yahweh, and let your enemy be scattered, and let those who hate you flee from you. For the Torah will go forth from Zion, and the words of Yahweh from Jerusalem. Blessed is he who gave the Torah to his people Israel in his holiness. Hava Nagila Hava Nagila Hava May the Father of compassion have mercy on the nation that is born by him, and may he remember the covenant of the spiritually mighty. May he rescue our souls from the bad times and upright the evil inclination to leave those born by him. Graciously make us an eternal remnant and fulfill our requests in good measure for salvation and mercy. May he help shield and save all who take refuge in him. Now let us respond. Amen. All of you ascribe greatness to our Elohim and give honor to the Torah. Arise, Travis ben Abraham, an Israelite, and come to the Bima to read from the Torah. Blessed is he who gave the Torah to his people Israel in his holiness.
Barakut et Yehovah Hamvarah.
Baruch Yehovah Hamvarah Elam Bayeh.
Baruch atah Yehovah Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher bekar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Yehovah.
Notein HaTorah.
Notein HaTorah.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Yehovah
Elohim, King of the universe, who has chosen us from all peoples and given us Torah. Blessed are you, Yehovah, giver of the Torah.
And our reading from the Parsha is Shemot, or Exodus chapter 24, with the maftir being verses 16 and 18. Okay. And to Moshe he said, Come up to Yehovah, you and Aharon and Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and you shall bow yourselves from a distance. But Moshe shall draw near to Yehovah by himself, and let them not draw near, nor let the people go up with him. And Moshe came and related to the people all the words of Yehovah and all the right rulings. And all the people answered with one voice and said, All the words which Yehovah has spoken we shall do. And Moshe wrote down all the words of Yehovah, and rose up early in the morning, and built a slaughter place at the foot of the mountain, and 12 standing columns for the tribes of Israel. And he sent young men of the children of Israel, and they offered ascending offerings and slaughtered slaughterings of peace offerings to Yehovah of bulls. And Moshe took half of the blood and put it in basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the slaughter place. And he took the book of the covenant and read it in the hearing of the people. And they said, All that Yehovah has spoken we shall do and obey. And Moshe took the blood and sprinkled it on the people, and said, See, the blood of the covenant which Yehovah has made with you concerning all these words. And Moshe went up, and also Aharon, Nadab, and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel. And they saw Elohim of Israel, and under his feet like a paved work of sapphire stone, and like the heavens for brightness. Yet he did not stretch out his hand against the chiefs of the children of Israel. And they saw Elohim, and they ate and drank. And Yehovah said to Moshe, Come up to me on the mountain, and be there, while I give you tablets of stone, and the Torah, and the command which I have written to teach them. And Moshe arose with his assistant, Yehoshua, and Moshe went up to the mountain of Elohim. And he said to the elders, Wait here for us until we come back to you. And see, Aharon and Hur are with you. Whoever has matters, let him go to them. And Moshe went up into the mountain, and a cloud covered the mountain. And the esteem of Yehovah dwelt on Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it for 6 days. And on the 7th day he called to Moshe out of the midst of the cloud. And the appearance of the esteem of Yehovah was like a consuming fire on the top of the mountain, before the eyes of the children of Israel. And Moshe went into the midst of the cloud, and went up into the mountain. And it came to be that Moshe was on the mountain for 40 days and 40 nights. Baruch atah Yehovah, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah amed, v'kayei olam nata b'tekenu, Baruch atah Yehovah.
Noten HaTorah.
Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Blessed are you, Yehovah our Elohim, King of the universe, who has given us the Torah of truth and has planted eternal life in our midst. Blessed are you, Yehovah, giver of the Torah.
He who blessed our forefathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Jacob, may he bless Travis ben Abraham, because he has come up to read from the Torah in honor of Yahweh and his word. As a reward for this, may the Holy One, blessed is he, protect him and rescue him from every trouble and distress, from every plague and illness, and may he send blessing and prosperity in his every endeavor, together with all Israel his brethren. Now let us respond. Amen. If you join us for the Veso HaTorah. Veso HaTorah asher sam Moshe livnei bnei Israel apei Yehovah v'ya Moshe. And this is the Torah that Moshe placed before the children of Israel at the command of Yehovah through Moshe's hand. Return of Yehovah to the countless thousand of Israel. Amen. You may be seated. And now we'd like to call Jochanan ben Levi to read from the Haftorah. If you please join us for the Haftorah opening blessing. Baruch atah Yehovah Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar bim tovim v'rasav adirahim hanemarin v'emet Baruch atah Yehovah haboker b'Torah Moshe abdo Israel amo ubimie hamed vazedek. Blessed are you, of our Elohim, King of the universe, who has selected good prophets and was pleased with their word, which was spoken truthfully. Blessed are you, Yehovah, who chooses the Torah, your servant Moshe, your people Israel, and prophet of truth and righteousness.
We're reading today from Jeremiah, chapter 34, 8 through 22. And then we're going back to chapter 33, 25, and 26. The word which came to Jeremiah from Jehovah after sovereign Tzadkiyu had made a covenant with all the people who were at Jerusalem to proclaim release to them, and that everyone was to set free his male and female slave, the Hebrew man and the Hebrew woman. No one was to keep a Yehudi, his brother, enslaved. And when all the heads and all the people who had come into the covenant heard that each one was to be set free, his male and female slaves, not keep them enslaved any longer, they obeyed and released them. But afterward they changed their minds and made the male and female slaves return, whom they had set free, and brought them into subjection as male and female slaves. Therefore the word of Yehovah came to Jeremiah from Yehovah, saying, Thus said Yehovah, the Elohim of Israel, I myself made a covenant with you, your fathers, in the day I brought them out of the land of Mitzrayim, out of the house of bondage, saying, at the end of 7 years, each one should set his Hebrew brother who has been sold to him. And when he has served you 6 years, you shall let him go free from you. But your fathers did not obey me, nor incline their ear. And you recently turned and did what was right in my eyes, each man proclaimed release to his neighbor. And you made a covenant before me in the house which is called by my name. But you turned back and profaned my name, and each one of you took back his male and female slaves, whom he had set free at their pleasure, and brought them into subjection to be your male and female slaves. Therefore thus said Jehovah, you have not obeyed me in proclaiming release, each one to his brother and each one to his neighbor. See, I am proclaiming release to you, declares Jehovah, to the sword, to the pestilence, and to the scarcity of food. And I shall make you a horror to all reigns of the earth. And I shall give the men who are transgressing my covenant, who have not established the words of the covenant which I made before me, when they cut the calf in two and passed between the parts of it, the heads of Judah, and the heads of Jerusalem, the eunuchs and the priests, and all the people of the land who passed between the parts of the calf. And I shall give them into the hand of their enemies and into the hand of those who seek their life. And their corpses shall be for food to the birds of the heavens and the beasts of the earth. And I shall give Zedekiah sovereignty of Yehudah and his heads into the hand of their enemies, and into the hand of those who seek their life, and into the hand of the sovereign of Babel's army that has withdrawn from you. See, I am commanding, declares Jehovah, and shall bring them back to the city, and they shall fight against it, and take it, and burn it with fire. And I shall make the cities of Yehudah a ruin without inhabitant. Now to chapter 33, 25, and 26. Thus said Jehovah, if my covenant is not with day and night, and if I have not appointed the laws of the heavens and earth, then I would also reject the descendants of Jacob and David my servant, so that I should not take of his descendants to be rulers over the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. For I shall turn back their captivity and have compassion on them.
If you join us in the closing after our blessing. Baruch atah Yehovah, Eloheinu melech haolam, tzor kol ha'olamim, sadeh v'kol hadorot, ha'el ha'neman, ha'omer be'oseh, ha'dabar u'kayam, shem kol devara, emet v'zedek. Neman, atahu Yehovah Eloheinu, v'nemanim devarecha, v'davarecha mivarecha, achor lo yashureka, ki el haneman, v'rakaman ata, baruch ata Yehovah, ha'el haneman, v'kol devaraha. Blessed are you, Yehovah our Elohim, King of the universe, Rock of all eternities, faithful in all generations, who says and does, who speaks and makes it come to pass, all whose words are true and righteous. Faithful are you, Yehovah our Elohim, and faithful are your works, for not one word of yours is turned back unfulfilled. For you are a faithful El and King. Blessed are you, Yehovah, the Elohim who is faithful in all his words. He who blessed our forefathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Jacob, may he bless Jochanan ben Levi, because he has come up to read from the Haftorah. As a reward for this, may the Holy One, the Father of our Messiah, blessed is he, protect him and rescue him from every illness, and may he send blessing and success in his every endeavor, together with all Israel his brethren. Now let us respond. Amen. Now we'd like to call Paul ben Abraham to read from the second writings. If you join us for the opening blessing of the second writings, Baruch atah Yehovah, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Mashiach Yehoshua, behakatuvin sher hatalmidin. Baruch atah Yehovah, noten habri haTorah. Blessed are you, Yehovah, our Elohim, King of the universe, who has given us Messiah Yehoshua in the writings of the Talmudim. Blessed are you, Yehovah, giver of the covenant of the Torah.
Reading from Matthew chapter 17 of the second writings, 1 through 11. And after 6 days, Yeshua took Peter, Jacob, and Johanna, his brother, and brought them up on high mountain by themselves. And he was transformed before them, and his face shone like the sun, and his garments came to be as white as light. And see, Moshe and Elihu appeared to them, talking with him. And Kepha answering said to Yeshua, Master, it is good for us to be here. If you wish, let us make here 3 booths, one for you, one for Moshe, and one for Elihu. And while he was still speaking, see, a bright cloud overshadowed them. And see, a voice came out of the cloud saying, This is my Son, the beloved, in whom I did delight. Hear him. And when the taught ones heard, they fell on their faces and were much afraid. But Yeshua came near and touched them and said, Rise, and do not be afraid. And having lifted up their eyes, they saw no one but Yeshua only. And as they were coming down from the mountain, Yeshua commanded them, saying, Do not mention the vision to anyone until the Son of Adam is raised from the dead. And his taught ones asked him, saying, Why then do the scribes say that Elihu has come first? And Yeshua answering said to them, Elihu is indeed coming first, and shall restore all.
The closing blessing for the second writings. Baruch atah Yehovah, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu hadavar hamed, v'chaye olam natan v'tochenu. Baruch atah Yehovah, asher natan lanu Mashiach Yehoshua, v'hakatuvin hatalmidin. Blessed are you, Yehovah, our Elohim, King of the universe, who has given us the word of truth, and he has planted eternal life in our midst. Blessed are you, Yehovah, who has given us Messiah in the writings of the Talmudim. He who blessed our forefathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Jacob, may he bless Paul ben Abraham, because he has come up to read from the second writings in honor of Messiah and his teachings. As our word for this, may the Holy One, the Father of our Messiah, blessed is he, protect him and rescue him from every trouble and distress, from every plague and illness, and may he send blessing and success in his every endeavor, together with all Israel, his brethren. Now let us respond. Amen. Will you please stand for this Chayin Hi while we return the Torah scroll? Es Chayin Hi lama chasikim ba v'toch emea usha deracheha darchei noah v'kol tibotecha shalom ashivanu Yehovah Elecha v'nashuva Chadesh Yameinu Chadesh Yameinu Kekedem. It is a tree of life to those who take hold of it, and those who support it are praiseworthy. His ways are the ways of the pleasantness, and all his paths are peace. Bring us back, Yehovah, to you, and we shall come. Renew our days as of old. Amen. And this concludes the Torah service. You may be seated. So we're going to go through the whole service. Is that what we're going to do? So today is going to be just a little bit different than we have done before. I think we're just going to finish and close in the whole service. And then at the end, we're going to have a study after we do the prayers and announcements and all that, right? Okay. So I guess if you will, please join us on the repetition of the Shema. Shema Israel,
Yehovah Eloheinu, Yehovah Echad Baruch
Hear of Israel, Yehovah Eloheinu, Yehovah is one. Blessed is the name of his glorious kingdom for all eternity. Amen. You may be seated. Travis, you want to do the blessing? Yeah, awesome.
Blessing over the one.
Baruch atah Yehovah Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hafen haomen. Blessed are ye, Yehovah Elohim, King of the universe, who creates the fruit of the vine.
Blessing over the bread.
Baruch atah Yehovah Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Blessed are ye, Yehovah Elohim, King of the universe, who brings forth bread from the earth.
Taking bread,
Giving thanks, he broke it and gave it to them, saying, This is my body, which is given for you. Do this in remembrance of me. Amen.
I have set watchmen on your walls, O Yerushalayim, all the day and all the night continually, who are not silent. You who remember Yehovah, give yourselves no rest, and give him no rest, till he establishes and till he makes Yerushalayim a praise in the earth. Amen.
Please stand for the benediction. Father, you spoke to Moshe saying how to bless the children of Israel. Today we do not have the presence of Aaron and his sons. So in their absence, we as a congregation will read in English and sing in Hebrew how to bless the children of Israel by saying to them,
Yehovah bless you and guard you. Yehovah make his face to shine upon you and show favor to you. Yehovah lift up his face upon you and give you peace.
Blessed put my name unto the children of Israel, and I myself shall bless them. Yivarechaka Yehovah ve'yishmerecha. Yaher Yehovah panav elecha v'chunecha. Yisa Yehovah panav elecha v'sim leka shalom. Amen. And you may be seated again. If anybody have any praise report, prayer requests,
Praise report. I
Paul, you're
lost
looking
another
great.
Little over 8 pounds.
Awesome.
I'm down to 3, 4.